how do we get like the Brothers Pasovic? How do we rate that, Kevin? Thank you very much.
I don't know. It's your call, man. Double trouble.
First off, I'm going to turn to Natalie here for her assessment. In the first block, we were a little misogynist. You're not sit there. You're just not eye candy. You're the best investigative reporter in D.C.
I'm always working.
You're always working. Here's the thing. I had a very reflective speech to give today at the kind of the last speech before Charlie sums up AmFest.
What happened to that speech?
Well, Jack Posovic's up before me, and Jack Posobic goes Latin Mass on me. Yep. Jack Posobic, talk about a high wire act without a net. Jack Posobic breaks out into Our Father, I think it was, right?
Paternoster.
If I remember from my
the full Paternoster.
altar boy days, in Latin. Tell me about that.
Well, look, that was because, though, Steve, it wasn't just for a gimmick of doing it, but we were doing that. We were offering it for Father Frank.
Yes.
We were offering it for Father Frank, and what I said up there was, I said, look, let me tell you something about my friend Father Frank. Father Frank is crazy. Father Frank is nuts. Why?
And MAGA.
Because Father Frank sees what they're doing to these unborn children.
Yeah.
He sees the machinations of the way that these various groups like Planned Parenthood and others work with the administration, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, these people who we are told are Catholics, and it makes him very, very upset. And in response, what has the Vatican done? For the man that's run
they fired him.
The priest for life for 30 years.
Yep.
Are they going after Biden? Are they going after Pelosi? No, they're going after Father Frank. And we found out today, and I'll credit Dr. Taylor Marshall with the scoop on this, that it was Pope Francis himself that signed off on this.
Wow. Of course he was. That's what I said. You can't debate it.
Right. So it's a full. And by the way, and this is something where for folks.
And then the Daily Mail today has a story about the Pope's right hand. The other Jesuit is like doing Holy Trinity threesomes.
The Holy right. So
what?
No, it's true. No, it's true. It's true.
So the Jesuit artist
there's a Vatican
that does the paintings with the like the pedo eyes in it, right? I don't want to go QAnon full QAnon.
Call that Balenciaga style.
Balenciaga
style. Is it the same church in Georgetown that Biden goes to?
I don't know. Well, so this is a priest.
Jack Posovic's learned the lesson. Just kind of throw it out. Just throw it out there in the ether.
Right, exactly. So this is a priest who would have been defrocked. This is a priest who would have been suspended completely. But
the threesome priest.
With nuns.
With nuns.
But because this priest is a Jesuit.
Yes.
Whereas Pope Francis is our first ever Jesuit priest. And the Jesuits, you got to understand, they were like the Navy SEALs of the priesthood back in the 1500s.
Yes.
They were these guys were tough. They were intellect. They were Aquinas.
Yes.
They were, and they were going
like a PhD to be part of it.
You had to have a PhD. You had to have a PhD, Steve. They're the ones who founded the universities.
Yeah. I went to Georgetown when it was still Catholic.
When it was, right. And so this was, you were there back when they still had slaves, right?
Whoa. Wow.
No, don't worry. They sold them. It's okay. And so, and Steve wasn't cut in on that deal. You weren't on that one, right?
Only the Jesuits.
No, just the Jesuits. Okay,
that's where they're giving half of the university back now.
That's right. Yeah.
By the way, you notice they hid that only for 100 years.
Right. Yeah.
Totally, we didn't see that. The accountants didn't report that.
And so,
it's outrageous.
What happened though is somewhere along the line, really in the 1960s, this order gets infiltrated, and that is where you see the most liberal pushing the LGBT agenda. We have to welcome an inclusive
liberation
church,
theology. It went to only communists back in the 60s
and
after Vatican II.
And this is where this is where Pope Francis derives from.
By the way,
Pope
radical
Francis,
in Latin America.
Hasn't even congratulated his own home team on winning the World Cup yet. Not even Argentina wins. Nothing from Pope Francis whatsoever, because the guy he seems more interested in protecting his order. And I know we're going high Vatican, hierarchy on this, but you have to understand that there is this Jesuit order that has become infiltrated. Liberation theology. It comes out of South America, and then You put that into the Vatican, so they'll take care of
which is
their
Marxism.
buddies. They'll
Right.
take care of their friends,
Central America, and
whatever
Latin
they're
America.
doing. But you got a guy like Father Frank. You got a guy who's standing up for the rights of the unborn, and regardless of which which church you go to,
The
that is
liberation
something that we
theology
all
ties to
should
the
agree on.
Frankfurt School that came over around the war.
100%.
But
100%.
from the University of Paris, these great universities, they realized they couldn't sell the Europeans on this because it was too crazy an idea. They said, oh, let's go to Central America and Latin America. And